Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. This is the Weekly Pint. It's not a show, it's a happy hour. It's an excuse for us to hang out and have a drink together. And man, do I need a drink, because it has been, it's been chaotic, as you can expect in my household, as always. It's always chaotic. It would be strange if it wasn't. And I don't know that I want to see what looks like in a non-chaotic gnome household. I don't think I want to know. But it's a busy week for us. We are headed on vacation this week, and so everything is compressed into the beginning of the week. We are just squeezing all of the stuff that should take an entire week to do just into the beginning of the week. So it's been fun. My wife still is not home from work. I sent the kids to bed, and I gave them their iPads and said, just at some point, go to sleep. So I don't really know what they're doing. I have no idea. I don't know if they're going to go to bed or not. It's fine. It's summertime. I guess there is no such thing as bedtime. The dog is the only one that really wanted to go to bed. He was very happy to climb in there and go to sleep and be left alone for a little bit. But yeah, so that's where we're at in our house. It's been hot. It has been so hot that everything seems to taste a whole lot better. It's hot everywhere except the basement. I've been wearing a sweatshirt all day because it is so cold down here, because the air conditioner has just been cranking all day long trying to keep the upstairs cooled down. Meanwhile, it just makes it really frosty down here. It's like a winter wonderland. But like I said, it's been hot. So that's kind of going to be the focus of what I'm drinking tonight, which I don't have a schnappening tonight, and this is not because I want to leave you guys hanging and I don't want to do a little sip of some kind of booze with you. It's because that's all we're drinking today is booze. In fact, you can't really see over here. Actually, I could. Here, let's change the drink cam so that you can zoom it out, and maybe you can see. You can kind of see down here at the end. The end of the table is now currently just filled with gin. I had my first gin and tonic of the year this weekend, and it was so good that I had another, and it was so good that that's what I'm going to drink tonight too. In fact, I was curious what the best gin and tonic would be. Now, there are definitely some gins here that I know are great in a gin and tonic. The go-to in my house for a very long time has always been the good old standby of Gordon's. This is like the cheap well gin. So we consider this the well gin in my house, or at least always have. Maybe not so much anymore, but and it's tasty. It's just like a good traditional gin. It's fine. So that has always been one that I know is delicious. This weekend, the first time I had I've had this sitting behind my bar for, 6 months and have never tried it. And I drank a little bit this weekend in a gin and tonic, and it was great. This is the Lost Bridge Appellation Gin. Appellation, depending on, I guess, what part of the country you live in. That was good. This, obviously, we all know this gin. This is the Cincinnati gin from Northern Row and Molly Wellman. I actually don't think that this is something that I would put in a gin and tonic. Personally, I think that you just drink this by itself. Personally. I have a little bit left of an OG bottle of Kerrigan's Emerge. A little bit of this left. So we're gonna do that. And then to round things out, I have another bottle from 5 Stories, Northern Row. This is their botanical gin. This is with wet hops. So they add fresh picked hops into this as one of the botanicals. And I love this stuff. It's absolutely delicious. So we have a nice little selection of a bunch of gins. And I Originally, I wasn't going to do it blind because I feel like that's going to be really difficult to do. But then I thought maybe I could figure out a way. It's not going to be really blind because I'm going to be mixing them up myself. But we're gonna give it a go. So I made little cards with all the names on them. I'm gonna put them down and then try to shuffle them up or something. I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna work. I also have a bunch of tasters with each with a solitary ice cube that's now a little bit melted. That's fine. It's a gin and tonic. I grabbed 2 cans of tonic just in case. I don't actually know how much tonic this is gonna take to make 5 of these, but we're gonna give it a whirl. This would be a lot easier if I was behind the bar. One of these days I'll figure it out. And then we are going to measure. I think I'm just going to go 50-50 on this. That's probably not how I would normally make them. I think I would normally go a little bit heavier on tonic than gin if that's what I was really wanting to drink. But if I want to try what makes the best gin and tonic, it's got to be gin heavy, right? I'm not crazy with that. I feel like it's got to be gin heavy. Chris is having a Cayman Jack watermelon margarita. It's too dang hot in the house for hoppy beers tonight. I get that. Brittany is having a Queen City Pale Ale over in addition to Julia. All right. This is going to be a pain. I'm trying to be scientific about it, though. All right, we got tonic 1. Tonic 2. I have a theory on which one I'm going to like best with tonic. I don't want to say it out loud because I don't want to sway anything, but I'm curious if any of you are gin and tonic drinkers or maybe what your go-to summer cocktail is. The margarita is always a good pick, but I like having some kind of a cocktail that is easy to make. I want something that I'm gonna go with another ice cube on each one of these. I like something that you can just kind of make a bunch of ahead of time, throw it in like an insulated bottle and take it somewhere. I like something that is not a lot of ingredients. Okay. All right, I'm gonna try to do this. All right, we're gonna start with Gordon's. All right. I haven't had a Gordon's gin and tonic for a long time. Kind of looking forward to that one. All right, we'll put you here. I probably don't even need to shuffle these up. I'll probably just forget at some point what the order is. Up next is Karrakin. I should have made my kids stay up late so that they could have mixed cocktails for me. Is that wrong? Is that bad parenting to make your kids stay up late to mix cocktails? Or is it training for later in life? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to forget every single one of these by the time I get these poured. Chris says, I was a gin and tonic drinker back in my college days when all the big band stuff was big again, clear back in the 90s. I remember those days. This one is not even open. Is that like the Brian Setzer Orchestra and Squirrel Nut Zippers? All of that kind of stuff. I was definitely not a gin drinker when I was a younger drinker. It took me a long time to kind of realize that I did like it. And it wasn't that like I had a bad experience with it or didn't like the smell of it. I just assumed, Julia says cherry poppin' daddies, yeah. I assumed that because everybody else said it was disgusting, that they must know what they're talking about. So I just never really got into it. I never tried it. And then when I did, I loved it. That's been kind of true with almost everything that I've ever drank. The things that I was like shying away from for whatever reason, by the time I got up the nerve to just try it, yeah, I liked it. I don't know what that says about me. I don't know what it says about everybody else and their opinions about stuff. All right, last one. This is the Lost Bridge. I keep waiting for these guys to start making some beer. If you've never been out there, it's out on the west side of town, the very far west side of town. And it's a fun little kind of escape. All right. We'll put that one over here. All right, now we're going to shuffle these up the best I can. So yes, technically, if I really thought hard about it, I might be able to guess which one is which, but we're not gonna even think about that. All right, I'm just gonna start right here in the middle with this one. Okay. All right, this one, citrusy. Oh, that's fun. There's like there's a really cool floral thing that comes in. Not a lot of juniper, just like this really cool citrus floral something or other. That's delicious. You know, it's funny how different the different gins are. This one, I get a lot of juniper. When we this weekend we were at my in-laws' house. And I was sitting there drinking my gin and tonics, and my father-in-law was next to me. Hang on. Yeah, juniper heavy. Oh, that's good too. Anyways, my father-in-law was sitting next to me, and he mentioned that he has not drank gin since he was a very young man. He said that he had a bad experience with gin. Sorry, my volume is all out of whack. He had a bad experience with gin, and every time he would smell it after that, he just couldn't stand the smell of it. And so then we started talking about gin and how different all the gins are. And I said, well, just give a sniff of this one. If it smells good, give it a try. I know this was the Lost Bridge. And he took a sniff over it, and he's like, yeah, that doesn't smell bad. And he poured himself a little and took a sip, and he's like, all right. Like, that's not at all what I remember gin tasting like, and that's actually really good. And I felt like I got a little win from that a little bit to convince somebody to try something they thought they didn't like. This one does not smell like much. Almost like a mineral water. That's wild. Yeah, way lighter than the other ones as far as flavors. I'm pretty sure one of my kids is up running around. I think my wife came home, though, so I'm assuming that they have just stopped sleeping, and they're now just going to party. Next one. Oh, I'm not talking about the color of these. They look like water. They all look like water. Let's see. Chris says, Soaring 20s from Warpoint is one of my favorite gin barrel-aged beers. If we're going to talk gin barrel-aged beers, we got to give a shout-out to June from Mad Tree, still one of my favorites. Chris says, I have a Beefeater bottle that might be 20 years old right now, still half full. I got in a bottle of Tanqueray X when it first came out, and I have a bottle of Aviation Maximum Effort. It is neat how different gins are. and I think that is one of maybe in the circles that I frequent, most underrated bottles behind the bar. I could have 2 whole rows behind my home bar that are just loaded up with gins and have them all be very different. And I get that's true for a lot of spirits, but at the same time, unless you're sipping them by themselves, if you're just mixing them in cocktails, I don't think that a lot of them matter that much. But gin matters a lot, in my opinion. Man, this is like almost like berries. Oh, this is fun. I wish you guys could smell these. Instead, you could just get to watch me smell them. Man, I promise, every one of these is vastly different from the ones before it. Oh, that reminds me of something. Ooh, that's good. All right, this is the last one. And then I'm going to kind of bounce around between them and try to figure out some kind of hierarchy in my head to come up with a winner. Oh, this is another juniper forward one. Oh, that's interesting. So there's 2 that are super juniper forward. Gordon's has to be one of them. And I'm going to guess maybe the Karakin is the other one. I don't know. I have not sipped most of these by themselves in a long time. I have tried them all by themselves. Man, no, this has too much else going on. That other one had to be the Gordon's. All right, I'm going to figure out a way to do this. I'm going to take the 2 that were juniper forward and make them kind of battle it out. I know this one. I think this one was the other one. Maybe not. Oh, man. Now I'm losing my sense of smell. I think it was this one. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, they're all like... Okay. Oh man, that's tough. Oh, this was dumb. I'm gonna have a hard time doing this. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I'm going this one for that. While I'm drinking all this gin, we should probably talk about places that are new, places that have opened. I finally this weekend. Hang on. Oh wow, so different. Finally this weekend. Wow, so different. I finally made it up to the Misrule tap room up in Oxford. So Misrule is a brewery kind of out in the middle of nowhere in the country, and they finally started distributing their beer to a space in downtown, uptown, depending on who you ask, Oxford. It's in a wood-fired pizza place, so obviously food, wood-fired pizza, incredible. And then they have, Chris says, I love Oxford in the summer, no students. Yeah, we had that discussion when I was sitting at the bar with the bartender about how much I enjoy coming into town during the summer and just spending time. It's not very fun when the students are there, but when there's no students, it is like such a cool little town. But they had, I think, seven or eight beers on tap. A couple of them are collaborations still that they were using to kind of get things up and running. But they had a Brett beer on, like a sour Brett beer, and it was great. They had West Coast IPA, which was really, really good. They had a New England IPA, which was good. They had a stout on. They had a Pilsner. They had a Kolsch. They had I can't remember what else. I was excited going up there because they had just announced, I don't know, maybe Friday or maybe even Saturday, that they were tapping 2 new beers, and the Brett was one of them. Julia says it was the West Coast Clear, of course, or else it wasn't a West Coast. They had announced that they were tapping, I think, the Brett, and then an Imperial Stout with, I can't remember, but something in it, some kind of big Imperial Stout. And I thought, okay, like I'm going to go up there, I'm going to try everything they've got. And I'm really not wanting to sit there and drink Imperial Stout. I'm like, but I will, and that's fine, and I'm probably going to enjoy it, and I'm probably going to be pretty happy about it, but it's 90 degrees outside. I don't want to sit and drink Imperial Stout. I got up there and got my first flight and was talking to the bartender. I said, wasn't there an Imperial Stout? And she laughed, and she said, yeah, they drank it all yesterday. And I said, what? And she said, yeah, there's a bunch of guys up here who came, they hang out, and they were drinking, and they drank all the Imperial Stout. So I don't know how much of it they made. But even if it was just 1 sixtel of Imperial Stout, that's impressive to knock that out in one night when it's 90 degrees outside. So if you were one of those people, please let me know, whoever did that, because I appreciate you. Eric says the sacrifices you make. Yeah, it's a tough job. Somebody's got to do it, though. Okay. That is good. That first one, whatever that is good. What makes it so difficult is that they are so different. And I don't really... This is the best gin and tonic. I'm not picking the best gin. All right. If I get that in my head, I can do this. Best gin and tonic. Best gin and tonic. My youngest is definitely awake. I can hear him yelling now. But if he's yelling at somebody. God, this is so tough. All right, I think I have a theory here. All right, I've got it narrowed down to 2. And I have a brighter, fruitier, and then like a herbal, darker. It's not really dark. More herbal, earthy kind of version. So if you want something that's kind of light and fruity and kind of citrusy and that kind of stuff, if you want that as your gin and tonic, and I really don't know what this is. Karrigan, very light, fruity, citrusy. And this is they have a few. They've had a few different gins. I don't even know if you can buy. I don't know if they have this still. I don't know what their production looks like right now, but the Karrigan Emerge. This is great. I'm almost out of it, so maybe I'll go check and see if they still make it. Yeah, that was it was good. It's just kind of light, fruity, refreshing. It's a good like summer gin and tonic. Yeah, good. Okay, the next one. This was a little more what I would call traditional. So a lot of juniper, a lot of that earthy kind of traditional things that I think of when I think of gin. And that is 5 Stories. This is the botanical with the wet hops. That's I would not have guessed that. I was thinking that this was probably either the Gordon's or I thought it would be the Karrigan. Yeah. All right. I would have not been able to guess these at all. And I'm very happy with all of them. The next up that I was struggling with was Gordon's, although I thought this one was the Gordons. That was Molly's. And then, obviously, Lost Bridge. That is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Julia says that Karakin's website still lists Emerge as a product and Shifu. Yeah, I don't know that means that they still have it. I don't know. I think that I don't know. I have no idea. I can find out. I need to just stop in. It won't be anytime soon because this week is so chaotic. I guess we should cuvee these, right? We should come up with a gin and tonic hybrid. Okay. Let's do that because for the sake of science. All right, let's move those out of the way. Put them there. All right. Let's get some more ice. All right, we'll go 2 cubes just to be safe. And we're going to go pretty light on our tonic, partially because we're running low. There we go. All right. I was not super impressed with the Gordons. We'll skip the Gordons. We'll start with a nice little touch of the 5 Stories Wet Op Gin. Give that a good earthy backbone. And then the Karakin. Get a nice little splash here. Okay. Then Cincinnati Gin from Molly Wellman. Nice little glug there. And to round things out, got your Appalachian Gin from Lost Bridge. This is, based on what's behind my bar, the ultimate gin and tonic. No garnish. It needs a garnish. It needs a lime. Okay. Looks about the same as all of them. Looks like you're drinking water. Although you can, I don't know if you can see that, but you can definitely tell that it's boozy water because you can see the booze kind of floating around in there, not mixing. Here we go. It smells like just gin. Okay. Tastes like just gin. But like a, okay. Okay, that goes all over the place. It starts really like kind of mellow and fruity. Goes into this really big, then juniper, earthy thing. And then there's this big kind of hit of booze, which I didn't get from, I guess there's more booze in here, but this big kind of warming booze bite to it. Yeah, that's good. That is not a gin and tonic. that is a gin. I love mixing products together just to see what they do because this is not a product that any distillery is ever going to release. Nobody's going to mix their product with somebody else's. And no bar is going to make the super gin and tonic with 5 different gins. And nobody's going to do it. But I do because I think it's fun. Zach is drinking a hotel water from Urban Artifact. I need to go pick mine up. In fact, I should probably do that before our vacation so I can take it with me. Although I have plenty of Urban Artifact beer still laying in all kinds of corners of fridges that needs to be drank. We're going back to the topic. New brewery. So Misrule was awesome. The beer was great. The food was great. I had a Geta and hot honey pizza that was just absolutely fantastic. People were wonderful. The tap room itself, I shouldn't call it. It is a tap room, but it started out as a pizza place and then added the beer side of it just recently. But with that being said, it still feels like a tap room. Like it feels like it was supposed to be that the whole time. And I like that. When you walk in the door, the bar is the first thing. It's a real narrow kind of space, and then the bar is in the very front. And the bar sits really kind of far into the room. So there's kind of a narrow walkway to get back to the back where it opens up a little bit. But I kind of like that. Like I like that tight, small, narrow. It kind of increases that conversational kind of thing that I miss about tap rooms so much. Let's see. Chris says, my favorite bourbon in my infinity bottle consisting of about 10 bottle and bond mixed together. Okay. I have 2 infinity bottles. I have one that is good, and then one that I call Fight Juice, which is if there's like something that's weird, and I have plenty of weird stuff laying around here in the basement. You guys see me drink it constantly. When it gets to the bottom of those, I dump the weird into its own infinity bottle, and I call that Fight Juice. And it's disgusting right now. It's not all bad stuff that goes in there. Like there is good stuff sometimes that'll go in there. Yeah, it's tasty. At some point, maybe that's. I got to figure something. Maybe that'll become part of the schnappening at some point. Zach really wants to talk about Depot. I have not been to Depot for one of their soft openings yet. I will probably once I get back from vacation. I'll give it a little bit of time to kind of settle in, and then I'll swing by. But that is the other place that I wanted to talk about. Is Depot is in a soft opening phase. They are not open officially yet, but they are soft opening. However, they've got listed on their website and social media some pretty good hours. So if you're in the neighborhood, check online and see if they're open and swing by. I did see that there may or may not have been a tap that was dedicated to Mick Ultra. We got to talk about that. I don't like it. I don't like seeing it on a tap list. I don't like seeing it on a board next to craft beer and locally produced craft beer. We got to fix that. I get it. I know the reasons, but we don't need it. Zach says that he enjoyed the Hazy Junction. I assume, and I could be wrong, that's a hazy IPA. It could be like a Hefeweizen, which would be funny to call it hazy something or other, and I kind of appreciate that. Zach says there was, but they sold out of it on Saturdays. Yeah, see, I don't like that. I don't like it. I get that if you don't have a light lager and you want to have a light lager to kind of ease people into it, and you haven't had time to make one and tank space and all of that opening up, I get it. Put something local on. Put a local beer on. I don't care whose it is. Put on Cincy Light. Put on Fretboard Light. Put on Mad Tree Legendary Lager. Mad Tree Light. Is that a thing yet? Just come on. Chris says there are plenty of locally produced light lagers out there now. Yes. Zach says they had a light lager. Got to look at the name. No, but they had a macro light lager for a reason, and that is a volume of light lager that they knew they were going to sell, which is right and it's smart. But man, you just gotta you gotta you got to support local. And I believe that to the absolute core of everything that I do. And I know that I drink a lot of things and talk about a lot of things that are not local and that could be considered hypocritical. And I get that, but I've got reasons for that too. And I actually have a video that I've been working on for probably 6 months, trying to get this thing figured out and filmed and all that. That kind of really dives into why that exists for me and why it's not really me either, as much as I guess it has to be if I'm doing it. Julia says, "Hi Greens Light Lager, Park Lager is fantastic." I've not tried it yet, but I can't wait. I cannot wait to get my hands on it and try it. Another video, not to spoil anything and let anybody else get too excited about something that's a little ways out. I've got a local light lager video also in the works. I have so many videos in the works. How many right now am I in the process, in production? How many are in production? Let's see. YouTube, we have, that'll probably end up being a short, so we won't count that one. One massive one. Oof. Massive project. That'll be next. That has a date on it. That will be done by the end of July 29th, I believe that posts officially. Then I have another one that is early. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That hasn't posted yet, but it's done. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And there's the one I didn't add on there. I have 15 videos that are long videos that are, I'm in the middle of them, that are all in production. Well, yeah, I guess it's in production. If I've started planning it and haven't really done anything else. One of them is not even close, and one of them's done. One of them's ready to post. One of them I put on Patreon today. That one is technically done. That'll probably post this week sometime. I have another one that's done that I just need to make a thumbnail for. That'll be maybe this week. Could we go multiple videos this week? Maybe. There's one that's not even. It's a short one. Yeah, we might have like a 3 or 4 video week. It's gonna be busy. That's what happens. All right. Best gin and tonic. It depends on what you're looking for. That's the moral of the story today. Oh. It's good. They're all good. I did grab a beer too. But I'm out of topics to talk about, so I don't know if anybody cares at a certain point. You guys tell me something to talk about, and maybe I'll sit here and drink this beer with you. Empty glass. This is... Zach says, my bad. They had a light lager called Lincoln Was Here, but it was coming soon. Hence why they probably tapped the Ultra. Also, they had Hefeweizen that was called Too Here to Float. All right. It's a keep cold, drink fresh. You tell me what to do and I'll do it. This is from Trillium. This is called Underneath the Secret Stairs. It's a Boston Stout. What makes a Boston Stout? Can somebody tell me that? 5%, 1 pint, brewed in Massachusetts. Okay. Boston Stout. They've got their own stout. Oh, that makes more sense. Zach says it's not too here to float, it's too heavy to float. That makes more sense. Better name. All right. Let's see if what makes a Boston Stout. If you pour it, does it make some kind of rude joke? Does it? No, it just looks like a stout. Since it's stout weather outside. Eric says tea leaves, oysters. Oysters would be good, and I love good oyster stout, but I don't assume that's what it actually is. No, it just smells like a stout. It smells great. If it wasn't so cold down here in the basement, I don't think I could drink this right now because of how hot it is, but down here it's cold. Let's see. Boston Stout is a style of dark stout traditionally brewed in the Boston area. It's known for its balanced flavor profile, featuring a blend of roasted malt notes like coffee and cocoa, along with a hint of bitterness from hops, resulting in a smooth and sessionable beer. So like an American stout. Okay. I mean, man, okay. I always want to hate kind of the trendy breweries. And I keep like getting proven that like they're trendy for a reason. They're making good stuff. All right. Let's get into this Boston Stout. Oh, yeah. It's great. Oh, man. I really wanted to hate it. I miss, like, just good, solid, I'm not to call them middle of the road, but, like, just normal stouts. Oh, man. That's good. I was gonna try to complain, and I can't. I can't complain. There are things that like you go a little higher on the roast, or man, but it's good beer. These guys at what's the place called Trillium? They might be okay. They might be able to weather the storm. Trillium, look out for them guys. Trillium, they might be all right. Yeah. Alex says, come see me and drink a Southridge Stout. Is a classic American stout. Look, I will come see you when I get back from vacation. I have no doubt that you can make a great classic American stout. Marco wants to know if I can taste the Bill Belichick in it. If by tasting Bill Belichick, you taste like winning and success, yes, I taste that. I taste that in this beer. This is just like really good and like balanced, and like it doesn't lean too hard either way. Like it's not too chocolatey, it's not too roasty, it's not too bitter. It's just it's a really good stout. Holy crap, man! Who thought I'd be sitting here with 90 degrees and getting ready to leave on vacation and drinking a stout? Who knew? You guys will get your first taste of vacation me. Not that I was on vacation, but it'll look like I am. So my kids, I have to explain the video. It's going to be posting this week. I'll probably wait and I'll post it. Let's see, tomorrow's Tuesday. There will be a short video that I post tomorrow. That's a work thing. I'm going to say Thursday is what I'm guessing for the longer one. If you're a Nomi, you have access to it right now. I think even the free Nomis. I think I turned it on for everybody. The preview of yeah. I'm trying to remember what videos I've posted, which ones I haven't. So There's a video of me drinking a Seagram's WWE collaboration fermented malt beverage. And you will get me in full vacation mode because my kids bought me a new Hawaiian shirt. I like to wear Hawaiian shirts when I'm not wearing what I call my uniform, which is just a black t-shirt. Most of you guys, if not all of you guys, have probably only seen me wearing a hat and a black t-shirt. Sometimes I do wear other things, and you will see that in this video. Julia says, your face in the thumbnail is amazing. I appreciate that. I was really torn on this thumbnail that is currently on it, and I may switch it before it actually posts because I'm still so on the fence, because my actual face is a mix of an actual picture and then AI to make it look like I was disgusted. The actual... Let's see if I can access it here. The actual picture that I used... Well, here, we can probably... Maybe... Okay, so this was the picture that... It's not going to really want to focus on me. There we go. This was the picture that I used as a reference. It was just me kind of shocked at a drink. In this case, it was one of the outtakes from the Fountain Reserve. You can't really see that. Fountain Reserve bourbon. Usually when I'm taking a thumbnail, I take several different ones. So I took that expression and I sent it to AI. The actual... This is good. So I told it then to create a thumbnail for me just to see what it created. And it made a whole thumbnail that I wasn't going to use. Number one, because it made up different cans that were not the actual drinks. This is what it came up with. There's the Rock in there. There's a little barf face. There's some AI-generated versions of Seagram's drinks, and then Malt Mayhem. So that's what it came up with. But it created that expression on my face. So I used that kind of idea then and rolled with that into what we currently are sitting at. Which is this one here. That's where I'm at right now. I don't love it, but I might make a couple other ones and might kind of wait and see how they work. I need to be better if I want my YouTube channel to keep kind of growing and keep getting better. I've got to start appeasing what they want me to post a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. It just needs to be just enough. There's definitely a lot to talk about with that. There are a lot of things that, like, I know that I should be posting, or I know I should be posting a different way, that I'm almost like fighting to not do it that way. And I keep going back and forth on why I'm fighting it, if it's like some kind of weird artistic statement or something that I'm making, or if it's just because I'm afraid that if I start posting things that I know the algorithm wants, I'm not going to enjoy it as much. I don't know. There's a lot to be thinking about with all of this. Maybe that's another video. 16 videos in the works. But no, that's a great example. So I would love to sit down and just make a video about the process of making videos and the struggle that I go through sometimes. Like this video, and sitting and drinking Seagram's WWE drinks. It's funny and it's fine. That's not really that's not the content that I really enjoy making, but it is probably the content that's going to get more clicks than the stuff that I really do want to make. I would much rather just make a video about me walking into Southridge Brewing. And I'm like, hey, these guys are open. Like, look at this place. This is a brewery that was struggling and closed, and somebody else bought the space, and they came in and figured out a way to reconnect with their community and the craft beer community at large. And that's the story. That's the thing that I want to tell people in video. But that's not going to get any clicks. So I have to figure out a way to either make that clickable or make things that are, and then be able to put those stories in between or work them into something that is clickable. I don't know. So stay tuned next month for the Gnarly Gnome goes to Southridge Brewing and chugs Four Loko in the parking lot. You won't believe what happens next. That's the video. It's not going to happen. Oh, Lord. How did we get to this point? Zach says, oh, or did you even make it out to High Grain for that barley wine? I know you're a busy man. I've not made it out there to try it yet, but I will. I try as much as I can. Yeah. Busy man. Alex says deal. Could you make a beer called 5 Loko? Just one more than 4 Loko. There are ways to do it. And there are ways to make it clickable and fun. And I'm like, I feel sometimes like I'm so close to figuring it out. Zach says, where are you going to vacation? Gatlinburg. Yeah. I don't think we're supposed to tell people. That's what I've learned. You're not supposed to tell people that you're going on vacation, and you're not supposed to tell them when you're there. Chris says, I'm only good for about 2.5 Loko. I'm good for like 12 Loko right now. Yeah, I've got gin and stout running through my veins. 4 Loko me up. I guess if I was still working like a normal job, I guess technically I'm on vacation. I have, well, no, I have almost all of my actual work done. That's not even true. It's never done. I'll have to work on vacation. And by work, I mean like the client side of my work. I mean, when I'm on vacation, don't get me wrong, we're making videos. We're drinking moonshine. We're riding mountain coasters. Yeah, we're doing the whole thing. We got plans. Zach says, my wife and I took our daughter out to the Children's Museum of Indianapolis today for a day trip for the first time, and she loved it. Yeah, we've been out there more times than I care to count. It's fun. It's fun, like maybe once every other year for me. That's where I'm at now. I've been there a lot, and a lot of the things are the same, and a lot of it gets kind of old. Now with the whole sports thing outside, that's a whole new ball game because that's fun, especially if it's nice outside or not hot, I guess. Yeah, I don't have any desire to do that right now. We've been there a lot, but there's been like there's been some trips there that have been fun. Zach says it's just expensive. We've done like the season pass thing, and it's not bad. It's fine. Chris says, I was once in Vegas and had to deal with the aftermath of a disgruntled IT director after they fired them. It's the opposite of what you should be doing in Vegas. Yes, yeah, that's that's not vacation. I think that vacation I don't think I ever made the video. I made a video about how this was like right after I think I quit my job, and I made a video that said I'm never coming back from vacation. And maybe this is probably a good time to kind of revisit that for myself, of this idea that like, what is vacation? What does it mean to be on vacation? Why do we go on vacation? And how can we take that thing and bring it into our normal life? And Zach says we need to see some Old Smoky moonshine chugs on video. Maybe, but I am not an Old Smoky moonshine guy. I am a Sugarlands guy. Sugarlands is the best distillery in Gatlinburg, in my opinion. No, it's the best. I don't care about opinions. It's the best, and I believe that. They make great stuff. I think that Old Smoky has like an actual like whiskey spot now. We'll try it. We'll see. We'll drink them all. I'm going with like a big group. It's gonna be fun. So typically, if we vacation in large groups, it's with my wife's family, and they get how we vacation and who we are. We are vacationing this time. Oh, hell. Zach says I'm not sure I've had Sugarland. Yeah, go to the store and get some. It's the best. So this time we are vacationing with my side of the family. All right. Okay. We're going to call this the after show that is still the show. Everybody got a drink? Get your drink, because we're going to dive in. Hopefully my wife is not listening, because she's going to tell me not to talk about anything. Can you get Sugarland locally? Yeah. I assume so. Let's look before we dive into the chaos of my family. Just give my wife enough time to tell me to shut the hell up. Let's see. Okay. OHLQ. So you go to this website right here. It says welcome. Cool. Sugar Lands. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we can't get it anymore. No, you cannot get Sugarlands in Ohio. Julia says, you did the post, I'm never coming back from vacation, almost 3 years ago, June 20th, 2022. Oh, yeah. That was just kind of in the infancy of how I felt about vacation. Zach says, bring me back some fudge. No, I can't you don't bring back fudge. You eat it in the car on the way back. It doesn't make it back. Okay, let's talk about vacationing with family, because I'm ready. I'm ready to dive into this vacation week. So we are going with, let's see, let me count here. I'm going to count in my head. Let's see. There's my family. We've got 4 of us. And then I've got my brother, and he's amazing, and his family. There's another 4, so now we're 8. My parents will be there. We got 10. My aunt will be there. Now we got 11. My sister, 13. I think that's it. I think we have a house of 13. 13 people in a house. And on top of that, Chris says, opening a blast from the past, Rheingeist Slangria. Oh, come on. All right, now I want that. Let's get in the truck. Okay, so 13 people crammed in a house, which already is really tough to find 13 people that can get along in a bubble for a week. That's tough. But you factor into it the fact that maybe some of them don't really drink that much or are not appreciative of drinkers. My mother does not like drinking. It's going to be fun. There's also concern. So my children, as you guys hear on the show every single week, sometimes they're up late. They stay up a little late. They party. They're gnarly. Like they hang out with people. Yeah, not everybody likes to stay up late, except us. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. Zach says, at least you can go on vacation with your family. My wife can barely stand being around my family. Yeah, that's what makes this whole thing fascinating, is that I don't know that anybody wants to go on vacation with each other. There is no possible way that my sister lasts more than one night in a house with all of us. There's no possible way. My brother has kids, and the kids will force them to make it happen. Josh says, I hear Julia loves staying up late. I keep burping gin. Eric says, it'll be like high school. Sneak out back. And then I think there's an emoji that does not translate from YouTube back to my software here. But it is face turquoise drinking coffee. Okay. Zach says, do your siblings look anything like you? I didn't know you had any. Okay, that's a little bit weird. Yeah. My brother definitely looks like me. Sister, nothing like me. Yeah, I've got siblings. We're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be a fun trip. We have members of the family that like to partake in the THC beverages, so we'll imbibe in that. I've got members of the family that really like to drink, that their spouses don't want them to drink, so we're going to do that. We have members of the family that have never been on a trip with any of us. That's going to be fun. Yeah. Zach says, do they enjoy craft beer, good craft beer like you? Some of them, and then some of them no. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Like, it's too much of a mix of different personalities. It's really not going to work. It's going to crash and burn. And this will be, I predict that this will be the last vacation and the first vacation with all of us. So the last time, let's put this in perspective. The last time I have been on a trip, like a vacation, with with my parents and both of my siblings, and we'll just leave it at that. Spouses never happened. But both my siblings, I mean, we're talking. Hang on. Almost 30 years. That's how long it's been since I've been on a trip with my parents and both of my siblings. So it's going to be fun. But I've never been on a trip with my parents, both of my siblings, and my kids, their kids. This never happened. I could take a trip with. Here's a good question. I could take a trip with each one of my siblings separate. I don't know that even the three of us and our families could vacation together. I don't think it works. Doesn't work. Chris says, I've not been to Gatlinburg since discovering the Adirondacks. They're so much better. Maybe. Here's the problem. It's all about the drive for me right now. My kids are still young enough that the drive is half of the battle. We just got to get there. We need to get there, and we need to just get them somewhere that they can like be not in a car. And so the Adirondacks, that's a tough drive a little bit for kids. Zach says, and members that roll J's. There's a lot of we're all drinking now. Like you drink the THC. We don't roll J's. I wouldn't know how to roll a joint if somebody put a bunch of money on it. Like I could maybe. Oh, that'd be fun. That's the next video. Can I roll a joint? I've never rolled a joint. It's always been rolled for me. Got to get it like tight. I don't know. I don't know if I could. Chris says that if the house is big enough, you may never see them all. Yes, that's where this whole thing gets really fun. So the house is big, like it's a good sized house, but there is definitely the bottom floor. And if you've ever been to Gatlinburg and gotten a cabin, you know how the whole thing goes. There's different floors, and one of the floors is always the party floor. And that floor is where all hell is going to break loose because my kids don't sleep. They like to stay up late and they like to party. And I kind of do too. My wife does too. Some of the siblings do too. We like to hang out. And there's video games and a pool table and probably a fridge and probably some ice and things to make cocktails. So we're staying up late and we're going to maybe be a little loud. So, it's there are bedrooms on that floor. It's going to be fun. Josh says there's something charming about the tourist traps Gatlinburg has, though. I kind of love the nostalgia side of the tourist traps. I don't love like the newer tourist traps. Like it feels too artificial. Like I like Gatlinburg. Pigeon Forge kind of feels fake to me, but I like the genuine tourist trappy, just fun of Gatlinburg. Like there is something about it. Chris says, "Oh, the drive up there, it sucks." Lake Placid was, you're speaking my language. I'm not. I cannot argue with you. You're right, 100%. Zach says, making an adult game to see who has the best rolled joint drunk. Oh, that's a bad idea. Chris says, since the fire has not been the same. Maybe. Maybe. There is still things that, like, when you experience, like, certain little pieces of Gatlinburg, they just immediately reconnect with your first childhood trip there that doesn't go away. But it's always going to evolve and be different, and it's not the fire that does that. It's just change. Zach says, Dollywood time for this trip. No, we talked about it. My wife really wanted to go back to Dollywood. I've been there once. I think she's been there once. It's a really great theme park. I love theme parks. I love roller coasters. I love like a park that has some kind of soul to it, and Dollywood definitely has soul. But we looked up tickets, and there is no freaking way that I'm paying $100 to get into a theme park for a day. No way. There is no possible way. It's insane how much the tickets cost right now. But yeah, it's a great park. Chris says we camp at Fish Creek Ponds, but I always make a stop at the Saranac to pick up the camping. Yeah, man. You are still speaking my language. It's a very different vacation, maybe, than I think my wife and my kids want to do right now. But man, there's there is a whole other rabbit hole I could go down here with different types of experiences that I don't talk about on this channel, or maybe a little bit. Like, I love camping. I love the outdoors. I love the outdoors. And well, I'm not gonna stay tuned. So let's leave it at that. Zach says, I've never been, but my wife and I would love to take our daughter to it. Yeah, it's good. Like, Gatlinburg is fine. Pigeon Forge sucks. Dollywood is a great park. Great park. Zach says, Kings Island is 50-ish. Yeah. So go to Kings Island. Spend as much time at Kings Island as you want to spend, and spend a bunch of money there. Do that thing. And then, like, once you kind of start to get bored with that, do a trip, and just do a trip to Dollywood. Don't go to Gatlinburg. Don't go to Pigeon Forge. Don't spend a week there. Just go to Dollywood. And that way, that is the trip. And then later you go back and do the whole, thing. Oh, geez. Chris says, every campsite is on a lake. Keep a kayak on the Yeah, see, you're speaking my language, or a language, one of my languages. I've several languages. There are definitely like trips that I make that are focused on being outside and not being on a phone, and not making videos or making content or whatever it is. There's definitely those types of trips. And then there's some trips that are just like, let's jump into tourist hell and make shit that's fun, and that the algorithm is going to like, and that will work. That's Gatlinburg. And then there's other trips that are, it's like, let's go somewhere, let's dive in deep and make a really good video that like connects with me, that nobody else is going to care about. Those exist too. There's so much. Oh, I live for places where the self coverage sucks. I don't need a cell phone. I don't want a cell phone. But if mine connects, I have to use it. I don't want it. Please send pictures. There is, and some campsites have a killer in a hockey mask. Yeah. I connect with the outdoors just as much as I connect with a great beer or a great cocktail. Maybe more. Like a night, a good summer night where it's warm enough that you can be comfortable, but cool enough that you can sit by a fire, and you've got a good drink and good company. Somebody's got a guitar, so you're playing music, and like that. There's nothing that beats that for me. Nothing. That's where I am. Chris is the guy in the hockey mask. All right, let's wrap this up. We are over an hour, and I did pack some, but we are not even close to being packed. And we're getting to the to the wire. Chris has spent all day prepping for amazing cooking. Prepping for amazing cooking? Oh, the food. Food when you're like camping. That's a fun rabbit hole that has nothing to do with gnome content, but so I enjoy backpacking. I freaking hate the food backpacking. Like I will day one be really, really heavy just to bring something that first night I can make a good meal, because for me, camping is all about the food. I love it. Zach says, I used to have this awesome sticker that Matry said, get outdoors. Tune into this week's YouTube video. I believe I'm wearing that hat with my Hawaiian shirt. Get outdoors. Yeah. We gotta stop the show. I gotta go drink and make sure my family's still alive. Although they're quiet, so they're probably good. This is after show in the show. All right. Cheers, everybody. I appreciate you hanging out with me. We will be back next week. I will be fresh off of vacation when we do this again, and I'll probably have a lot of things to talk about. I'll probably be drinking moonshine, right? Is that the way it works? I still don't have outro music, so in your head, hum the outro music. And that should, in theory, work for now. I started making it, and I thought I'd put it on here, and it's not here. It's fine. We'll see you next week. Cheers, everybody. Maybe, possibly, maybe, don't hold me to this, but maybe I'll do a quick live pop-up from Gatlinburg. Ooh. I'm not going to spoil it. I have ideas. Yeah, stay tuned. It'll be fun. We'll do something cool. Outro music. Pretend you're hearing it. Outro. I don't know how to end it. Somebody sing in the chat. Outro music. Outro music. I don't know how it goes. All right, we'll see.